Okay, welcome to Rate My Gadget, and we'll be reviewing the Heuer Connected. So those of you who've seen the video before, this won't be an unboxing. This won't be a kind of initial. Oh, what do we think? This is actually a watch that I've been wearing for the last 3 months, and I'll be giving you an honest review of the goods, the bads, and what it's all about. So let's do it. First of all, what is it? So it's a tag watch, a tag smartwatch which connects to your phone. It's 1,500 quid at its cheapest price and about 1,800, 1,900 the most expensive. The design itself that you get, so it's a flat-faced watch. The bezel on the outside doesn't move. It comes with a rubber strap that's easily, you can easily change the length. So if I just show you that, so if you unclip this here, you can then pull the length to different sizes, which is great. And actually the rubber strap is very comfortable. And on the side here, you've got 3 buttons. So you've got your normal kind of tumbler button, which works in the way of kind of rolling up and down. And you've got that button as well, is a push button for apps. And then you've got 2 customizable buttons on the on the top and the bottom. So on the top I've used torch, and on the bottom I've got the timer, so for an alarm. Okay, and you can change those buttons to be different things, even open an app or whatever it may be. You can see that I've got a face here with a red background, and the way to change a face is if I just hold down down there, you can then scroll through the different faces. Personally, I like this one, the Helios. If I hit that cog button at the bottom, it lets me change the configuration of it. So you can have a different color backgrounds. If I go down, then you can have different, what they call complications. So the weather and all those kind of things in the selection, and different color second hand. So it's really nice in which you've got full range of faces, and you can obviously change those to your heart's desire. What it doesn't have is presets. You don't have like a preset face 1, face 2, face 3. You would have to change it each time that you wanted it. So the other thing to note that you get with the tag is the docking station, and this is one of its downfalls, I think personally, is that the docking station is magnetic. So if I wanted to put that on the back, it does automatically magnetically connect. But it does mean that when you want to charge this phone, you have to bring this with you. So it hasn't got anything on the watch, and actually because this is kind of waterproof or water resistant to 5 atmospheres, it hasn't got anything that you can then plug it into. So it's reliant on these little connectors down here connecting into this dock, which does mean the issue is that if you want to go away on holiday or anything like that, then you need to take this dock with you. It isn't too sizable, and it's got a USB-C connector, I think that is on there. So that I have it lasts about 12 hours, and I've actually been recommended by the tag representative that actually taking it off and charging at night is kind of what's expected. But you just take it off at night, and that's what one of the tag representatives told me. You don't get much more than that, to be honest. I mean, you feel like because you're spending all of that money, you get a large size box. But in the box, actually, and the only reason I've kept this is to show you, because I think it's kind of piece here, which is quite nice if you want to do it as a presentable, sitting on your bedside table or whatever. And then really inside here, all you've got is a plug. So your standard USB plug. So if I open up that standard plug, nothing really, no kind of tag emblem or anything on it. It's got the lead as well. So it's a USB-C lead, I think that is, as well. So it comes with everything you need to charge it. And then the only other thing it comes with is a cloth to clean it. So like I said, you don't really get an awful lot. You get a big booklet with it. But the one thing, and the one really positive thing about this watch is, as you'd expect, the customer service is fantastic. I've contacted Heuer many times to kind of ask them, how do I do this? And how do I change that? And how do I manage this? They've come back and they've been very clear, very concise. They haven't kind of, been condescending, and it's been a very quick email response. So brilliant in that way. So let's get to, first of all, the functionality of it. I've taken the watch off. So the functionality you've got is what you've just seen there. If I just tap that so you can see that, is the screen goes from permanent kind of feature to a background screen, and it's different according to different faces, and you have very limited ability to change what the background face is. Personally, I quite like this one. Then what you've got is sliding up from the back to the top, left, right and bottom. So coming up from the top, if I scroll that down, is all of the functionality you can choose on here. So the one I really love is I can find my phone, that button there, so that will ring my phone. I can also go to battery saver mode, and I'll just show you what that, oh no, turn on cinema mode, I don't want that. There you go, battery mode. So this is very good. This just basically gives you a watch, a tag watch. And what it does is it extends its life tremendously. Now, I went away with work recently. I was away for 2 days, 2 nights. I'd forgotten my charger. So I left it in this mode. And what it does is if I push it, that is the battery saver face. Very, very simple. It doesn't give you any other functionality. I can't, open my phone, search on Google, anything like that. And if I want to, frustrating thing about this, and what I found when I went away with work, that once you've put it into battery saver mode like this, depending on the battery levels, so this has got about 20% battery left. If I hold that button, it tells me I need to put it on the charging port. So in order to get it back into the fully functional smartwatch, you need to then come back out or take the watch off, charge it briefly to get it to a level, and then it lets you open it up. Let me do that so I can go back to the functionality. So let me just show you the functionality. So if I go down from the top here, so yeah, you've got different settings for the watch. I'll get rid of that. You have airplane mode. You can also pay. So this has got NFC in which you can make payments over it as well. It tells you, like I said, you can go to energy saving mode. I don't know what that is. Oh, do not disturb. There you go. So I've never used that before. That's interesting. So basically that means that it probably won't send you any notifications. It tells you the battery life and all those kind of things. The other thing as well is, depending on what you're doing on your phone, and I will show you that, is if I scroll that down again, down at the bottom here, it will have what you're doing on your phone. So if you're listening to Spotify, it will say what song. In some cases, if you change the features, it will come up on the main screen. So all you'll get is like a digital time up here, and it will say, whoever, Foo Fighters or whatever is playing. So that's the settings. So that's pretty bog standard stuff. This is where it gets exciting now. So if I go to the right, these are the different apps that you can add. So I've added 2 apps in here. I've added my workouts. So if I just give you an example, I won't go into detail, but it acquires my GPS, picks that up, and then I can start cycling on that. And if I click on this button on the side, get to your apps, push this button here, and these are all your apps here. And when you first set it up, it'll ask you, do you want to download some of the apps from your phone? And you can do that. And as you can see, there are some apps on here which come standard, like the tag ones, and stopwatch and timer, weather, but there are others that I've added on, so Spotify, Shazam, Play Store. I mean, the actual variety of apps is pretty good. And to be honest, the way I use my smartwatch is I don't use it necessarily to send messages unless it's a very quick one. And that goes to the next bit, which if I slide from the left, no, not the right, the left, this gives me a bit of a summary, and I can't change this. So it always gives me a bit of a quote, and it gives me what the rain is. But I can also, through my phone, if I now click on that and say, what is the time in Vancouver? There you go. Call home. So I haven't done this because I don't personally like to accidentally call via my watch, but you can also make and receive phone calls. So receiving phone calls is standard, but making phone calls, so it is pretty good. The other thing as well you can do is if I then swipe out of that, come out, come on. If I then go up, so as you can see here, someone has messaged me. I can then, obviously a rugby mate, I'm not going to go back and say that's good, babe. But if I go reply to rugby and I do microphone, agree, then I can hit green and that's sent. So it's really, really easy. And this at the bottom is where your notifications come up. So these are all your notifications, and you can turn these on or off. And then if I go to the buttons itself, so the buttons itself really are, if I hold down this button here on the top, that gives me a torch for me and stopwatch, but you can change that whole functionality. Okay. Right, so let's go through. So I've shown you some of the functionality. By all means, ask me questions in the comments. But let me go through, in my experience, what the good points are and the bad points are of this watch. With the bad, and then we'll go to the good. So the bad thing about this watch, if I just reel them off, in terms of functionality, it sells itself as a all-day, all-wearing watch for all activities. As soon as you go swimming or as soon as you're out in the rain, forget it. This touch screen, as soon as your fingers are wet or the screen is wet, it just doesn't work. And that becomes really frustrating, I've found, if I want to go cycling or want to go running. But I think that's probably familiar with all smartwatches. This is the only smartwatch that I've had. And I suppose that brings me to the other negative feature, is that it's a smartwatch and therefore it's got a potential limited life. You know, no matter how good the technology is that's in this watch, it is always going to be superseded, you know, within 2, 4, 10 years time. And therefore, to pay that amount of money for a tag watch, you have to ask yourself, do you want to have a smart tag watch for that amount of money that may not have the longevity? Now, they promise firmware updates and all those kind of things, but it's like buying an Xbox One back in the day. You know, it will remain with you for 4 or 5 years, but you know that there's going to be something better that comes along. And therefore, you know, for a tag, are you willing to do that? As is with accidental touch, I have found myself looking at my watch and it's in this kind of mode. It's over here, which still tells me the time at the top, but it is a little bit frustrating. Probably seen it on this video, because it's that flat screen, you do get a glare off it. Because it's only like I think it's an LED screen or something, it hasn't got a depth like a watch. I mean, I've got a G-Shock and I've done a review of it, and because you've got depth to it, you know, you've got a physical 3D hands and a 3D back plate to it, you know, it doesn't reflect in the same way. I mean, that said, it's not hugely an issue, but you know, it is one of these frustrations. The other thing as well, which I was a bit disappointed when I first got this watch, is if I hold this, these are all of the backgrounds that you can get. Now, you'll notice, and this is maybe just me, because you'll think I'm being pernickety, there are only 1, 2, I won't count that one, 3, 4 kind of traditional tag faces that you can choose from. Yes, you can change the background. Yes, you can change the dial color. But I was hopeful that there was going to be the whole raft of every single tag watch that you could get out there. But that doesn't seem to be the case. And even when you go onto the app, that's not the case. Now, you can download other faces. You know, you can put Mickey Mouse face on it if you want, but why you do that to a tag, I don't know. But there is a frustration I have that you know, for all that money, why is there not the full range and variety of tag faces? And that may come. That may well come. Now for the good. And there is a lot of good around this watch. First of all, if you're gonna get a smartwatch and you wanna go down that road, this is by far the best. I've tried other smartwatches. I've tried the Google watches. I even tried the Pebble watches back in the day. This, you know, in terms of its functionality, is absolutely brilliant. The reason I say that is because although you've got the built-in functionality of the watch, so you've got certain apps built into it, if you're using an app on your phone and this automatically comes up, it seems to be just really intuitive and really easy, like really user-friendly. So I've got Sonos. You can't get the Sonos app on this, but when I put songs on through my phone, this will show me straight away the song that's playing, the skip function, and that's all I need. You know, volume up and down, that's it. The other thing which is amazing on this, and I'll just show you an example. So as I'm talking through this review now, you can see it's doing a very, very good job with the microphone. And I've done this in windy weather. I've done this in, you know, open in the sea when I've gone swimming, and it's brilliant. It really is very, very good. Now it's going to have a hissy fit on Google. Yeah, there you go. Is the ability at night to be able to see the face. So, you know, I've worn G-Shocks and other watches, and there's always, you know, the glow, you know, the glowing hand that you can see. Yeah, you can see them, but in this, you know, at night, it doesn't shine bright, so it won't keep you up at night. But at the same time, it's really, really subtle, and I really like that. is I really like, because I've used that a lot, the phone finding function. So the phone finding function, if I click on that, I mean, I'm recording on my phone now, it will find my phone on it. Marie, if you can afford that amount of money for a Tag smartwatch, you're not going to go wrong. You know, this is a real head turner. It's an absolutely gorgeous looking thing. I've even talked about, you know, how sexy it looks. The other thing I haven't even touched on is, if you really wanted to, you could change the straps, and that's really easy to do. You don't have to go into a jeweler's or anything. You just slide that, pull that away, and then put in, you know, different color straps, metal straps, all those kind of things. So you can change the complete design of this if you want as well. So, you know, on one side of the coin, you think, well, has it got longevity as a smartwatch for that amount of money? On the other side of the coin, who cares? It's a Tag smartwatch, and it's absolutely fantastic in terms of its functionality, and it looks tremendous, I think, but that's just my view. Please do like, please do subscribe. Do ask questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer. Also, there's a link to this watch in the comments below as well. There's a lot of, be careful, there's a lot of knockoff ones that you can find on eBay. And even